Sure shot, baby.
So, good day, everyone. We're here for another episode of the DVD show. So, for today, we have one of the most decorated PBA players currently playing for the Barangay Ginebras San Miguel, and he used to play for the Pure Foods franchise as well and the Alaska Aces. I'll now welcome Joe Devance to the DVD show. Thank you for coming on.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, Joe, before we go to the basketball topics, I want to ask how you've been doing, especially now we're on lockdown once again, and it's really tough for the Philippines now with the ECQ.
Yeah. It is pretty tough right now. It's hard to stay in shape. I mean, even now, look, I'm trying to. I have my sweat jacket on, and I'm trying to do whatever I can to stay in shape. My guys, Simon and Ciso, Saul Mercado, Lamont Waters, they do a lot of working out, and I try to keep up with them, but it's hard right now in ECQ to really stay in shape. So, but I try to keep busy. I'm turning. I don't know if you can see, but my garage into a gym. I have a sauna. Like a little weight room in here. So, I'm trying my best to stay in shape. But sorry, I got a call. But but like I said, I'm trying my best to stay in shape, and you have to be creative in these times. So see how it goes. Who knows when the season's going to start? So I just have to be consistent.
How was it for you guys? Because you guys started like clusters already, like 5 or 4 members each, but then it was halted again. How's the team doing with all the Zoom workouts now, since it's hard again to adjust?
Well, to be honest, we've been having Zoom meetings, and we do like some team building talks and stuff like that, but we haven't had any Zoom workouts yet. I think we'll start on Monday. But Zoom workouts, they're not too hard. Jaden, stop. Sorry. But I mean, we're all working out in a way anyway on our own, so it's just to have like a little extra workout in there with the Zoom. So
how about with the state of the team now? Like, you guys added Christian Standhardinger, Jesper Ayaay, Brian Enriquez, and Ken Holmquist. So first, how about Christian? Since that's what everyone wants to know. How's he fitting in with you guys?
He fits in well. He has a great attitude. He's willing to learn. He's very eager to learn. He's just ready to play. He's just one of those guys that's like just nonstop, and I love his character. I love who he is. Like just from the first initial time that we've been teammates, he's been great so far. So I'm very excited to play with him.
How about the 2 rookies? Since in the draft, no one really expected Ginebra to get Ken and Brian, but then they were surprise pick up in the latter part of the first round and early second. So how are they with the team, and what do you think they could contribute right away?
I believe they both worked out with us during the break when we had those workouts, the 4 and 5 workouts. And Brian is very athletic, so he can definitely bring his. We could use his athleticism. And Ken, right? It's Ken or Kent?
Ken Holmquist, I think. Ken, yeah.
Yeah, I met him one time, and Coach Tim is really excited about him. he basically told me that he was like the right-handed version of me. So
Yeah.
I personally never seen him play. So only time will tell. But Coach Tim's pretty excited. Even Coach is he's
3-and-D
really
player.
excited with the yeah. So he's really excited about the new additions that we have on the team. So we're talented, but you still don't ever know. You know, you can't. It's not all about talent. Coach Tim's a chemistry coach, and you know, adding so many pieces can ruin your chemistry or make it stronger. So, you know, only time will tell. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, as you mentioned, chemistry is a very important part of a team's success in sport like basketball. So as one of the veterans of the Ginebra team, how do you make sure they're still motivated and inspired to still win, even if you guys just won previous conference?
To be honest, it starts with the leadership of the team. You know, it's not just me, it's LA, Mark, Scotty being a leader, Aljon being a leader now, JD, Stan. I mean, we have a team full of leaders, which is exactly how Coach Tim likes it. And we all show up early. We all do our work early, stay late. You know, it doesn't matter after a championship. Like, we usually don't have a championship hangover just because, I mean, it's like if you win one, this is what it takes to win another. You know what I mean? So that's pretty much our attitude as a team. Like, we hold each other accountable. We have good atmosphere at practice, and I think that's one of the main reasons why we're so successful.
Yeah, hopefully you guys keep up the great pace of winning, because San Miguel added CJ Perez also, and Calvin Abuevas and Magnolia, and then even TNT got coach shot back, so they're pretty strong as well.
Yeah. The teams are good. Good. It's going to be exciting this conference whenever it starts.
So before we move on, I just wanted to ask about your childhood, because you grew up in the States, in Texas, I believe, or that's where you studied also for college. I wanted to ask your childhood activities, because I've read articles that basketball wasn't like the first sport you got introduced in. Like, did you ever consider doing something else before basketball?
Yeah, I played football. I played football before basketball. I actually liked that better than basketball at an early age. But then I decided to play basketball because I got hit. I got hit really hard in a football game, and then that made me quit.
Oh.
So.
What are some of the learnings or lessons you could apply to basketball from football?
Well, the physicality is hold on one second. Okay. Sure. Your physicality is tough. Also in football, there's a lot of plays you have to learn. There's a lot of gaps, there's a lot of plays that you have to learn. But to be honest, it was such an early age in playing football. I've just learned way more playing basketball,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you start loving basketball? Was it because of the NBA, or was it because of your family members or your friends?
What made me love basketball? I mean, I've always played it. I've always played basketball. I think what really gave me the love for basketball is just playing at the park, just having fun. That competition at an early age. My dad made me play against the older military guys because my dad was in the military. So when I was younger, he would always have me playing against the older military guys, and all that stuff just built me up to be better, to be very competitive and stuff like that. So
Yeah, so moving on, I said in articles that you've also tried track and field and boxing, or when you were a young age. How was that in terms of your fitness also?
my dad is he's still a boxing coach.
Oh,
Yeah, so my dad was a boxer and a wrestler. Well, my dad played all the sports, but for the military, he boxed and he wrestled and stuff. So I did that just because he was a coach. And then what was the other one I did?
track and field. Did you do that? Track?
Oh yeah, in high school. In middle school and high school, I did track and field. I did the 400. Hard. That's all you do. All your training is all running. So that was hard. But I also did high jump. And I went to the highest I cleared for high jump was like 6'6". It wasn't really that it wasn't that high. Go to regionals in Texas, but I mean, people were clearing really like crazy heights for high jump. So back then I had better knees.
Yeah. How about the endurance? Since you needed to run a lot and it looks like it was really tiring for you. Did the endurance help in basketball? Because boxing also you need a lot of endurance when you play.
Yeah, to be honest, like once my knees started to really start hurting a lot, that's when it was really hard for me to really work on like running all the time, and of course the older I got, the more it hurt, the harder it is to lose weight, you know what I mean? So I mean, endurance is everything in basketball. So the more endurance you have, the longer you'll last, So
yeah.
But I mean, I've had a great career. I played a lot of minutes. I know there was a few years where I was like top 3 in most minutes played and all that kind of stuff. So, I had that in my good old days, in my younger days.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. How about your stint in I don't know how to pronounce it. Burgess High School.
Yeah, Burgess High School. Yeah.
Burgess High School. Yeah. How was the whole experience there? Like, what was your best memories, or what were your best lessons?
My high school coach made a huge impact in my life. He was basically the Coach Tim before I met Coach Tim. He was like my Coach Tim in high school. He mentored me a lot. He was always on me. I guess because he had a lot of expectations for me, so he was constantly on me. But at the time, I didn't like it. I hated it. Nobody likes getting cussed at and yelled at.
For sure,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he was that type of coach that did that with me,
Okay.
just the same as Coach Tim.
Yeah.
And even to this day, we still talk. We're still close. I flew him out here 2018 to watch the championship against San Miguel. So he watched, I think, two of the games, like game 3 and 4, or 4 and 5, or something like that. So, yeah. Burgess was that was a good time, man. I had so much fun in high school. It was because it was just about basketball, I didn't have to really worry about anything else. And
yeah.
It was cool. It was fun.
So your high school coach, and you said he was like on you a lot because I think he expected a lot from you. Do you think it helped in your maturity as a player when you went to college and professional level?
Yeah, for sure. when a person gets tested like that, you either fold or you get stronger. You know, you either kind of curl up in like a little shell.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like either cry or just be sad or it just makes you tougher. And I mean, it made me tougher. Mentally, you know, I'm sure you've heard of the phrase mental toughness.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. So for me, that started in high school with my coach. I mean, it really started with my dad, but my high school coach was like that. My college coach was like that. And then I come out here and Coach Tim is like that, you know?
Yeah.
So, when I was with Coach Tim, I mean, it was like being at home. I was used to it, you know? That's why I responded well with Coach Tim, you know, because a lot of players don't like that type of that type of treatment. So I really blossomed under Coach Tim.
Yeah.
So
how about moving on to the college days? You were on the University of Texas and you were under Coach Sergio Rucco. Am I right? He's the coach, right?
Say that again.
Sorry, I think it lagged.
Yeah.
How was your stint in the University of Texas? Was your coach Sergio Rucco, I think?
Sergio Rocco. Yeah. How you know that?
Oh, I researched it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. He was actually the one that helped me come over here to the Philippines. He was my assistant coach.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah. He needs to run. No. You can go around. Sorry.
No worries.
Sergio Rocco, he was the assistant coach at the time, and he saw the Filipino flag because you know if you're a Filipino, we like to hang our flags on the car.
Yeah.
Like in the mirror. Yeah. So I had that, and he saw that I had the Filipino flag on there, the Philippine flag in my car, and then he asked if I was Filipino because I guess the whole time he thought my mom was Mexican, I guess, or so because our city's predominantly Hispanic, mostly Mexican. So when he asked that, he asked me if I ever thought about playing in the Philippines. And I mean, to be honest, I was like, no, I never thought about it, you know?
Yeah.
And then he got me in contact with the person, Bill Bano. He was an agent. He was a coach out here, agent. He did all that stuff. And then now he's in the NBA. He's a recruiter in the NBA for Indiana Pacers.
Oh.
So, yeah. Actually, one of my other assistant coaches in college is also a recruiter for Indiana, and they both know each other, which is crazy.
Coincidentally.
Yeah. Ryan Carr was my assistant coach's name. Sergio Rocco. But my head coach, I had two head coaches in college. Coach Jason Rabideau, which he passed away in Vietnam. He was one of the first coaches to coach in that was it ABL?
Yeah, Asian Basketball League, the one where the Philippines play.
Asian Basketball League. Yeah. So he was the coach of Vietnam. Yeah. And when he came out here, I would see him. When he came out here, I would go see him and stuff like that, which was pretty crazy. Yeah. And then my second coach in college, his name is Billy Gillespie, and he's big time because after our team, he led us to the NCAA tournament in 2004. Yeah. Then after that, he went to a bigger college, Texas A&M,
Oh yeah.
They have a bigger program.
Yeah.
He took them to the NCAA tournament like 3 years straight. Then after that, he was the head coach for Kentucky.
Wow.
And I mean, Kentucky is like the biggest,
Yeah.
job ever, right? So
Yeah.
he took that job, and he had it for like 2 years though, but he didn't do well. He didn't do well at Kentucky, but at my school in Texas A&M, he did well. He probably should have stayed at Texas A&M, but
Yeah.
but he was a crazy coach. If you look him up,
Mhm.
Billy Gillespie,
Yeah.
yeah, he had us doing crazy stuff. He had us doing some real crazy stuff. But yeah, all these coaches made a lasting impression in my basketball career and in life. So
Yeah.
you learn a lot. You learn a lot about life through sports. You get tested. You get tested as a person, as a man, even as a woman, going through competitive sports and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah. So
How did the coach, like Coach Sergio, how did he convince you to go here? Because it's like unknown to you, and you didn't really consider playing here. So what was the factor that made you decide to play here?
he basically said it was a good league. It was a good league out here, good players. He knows an agent. He knows a way for me to get out here. And at the time, I was actually still playing in college.
Oh.
And then when he told me that, I need to look for a mask. When he told me that, I mean, of course, I wanted to still play basketball.
Yeah.
After college, So I mean, he didn't really have to convince too much because I already wanted to do it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Minda, hold on one second. Can you throw me my mask? Yeah. If you leave it, it's right here on that table on the right. Yeah. Sorry.
No worries. No worries. It's recorded. It's okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you can toss it. Oh, nice. That was a nice throw. That was my yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you were discussing about how you were convinced to play here in the Philippines, and you said it wasn't really a hard thing for you to do. But how about the Filipino culture? Was it easy for you to adjust right away?
I was culture shocked when I first got out here. Because I didn't know anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I was literally by myself when I first came out here. So yeah, I was culture shocked, but my first year out here, I was getting paid, I think, like $25,000 a month, right? And where I'm from, like that's really hard.
Yeah.
Like I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that lifestyle, and it was really, really hard. There was a few times where I was like, you know what, I need to leave. Like I can't live like this, But eventually I made some friends with Kelly Williams, Rob Reyes, Robbie.
Yeah, he used to play in the PBA.
Yeah. We all got close that year because we was all in the PBL together. So we got really close that year. But even before I met them, Dorian Pena, he looked out for me. I was staying at his house for a while. I mean, it was really a struggle. And it wasn't until because when I first came out here, I came out here to practice with the RP team, with the national team. And then And then after that, I was practicing with San Miguel.
Mhm.
And when I met the San Miguel guys, Dorian like took me under his wing, and I mean he took care of me until I got drafted in the PBL. So I'm very thankful for Dorian, because I don't know what would have happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great experience when I first came out here. I was eating pineapples, canned pineapples,
Yeah.
and sandwiches. That's all I was eating. So when I first came out here, I was really big, and like within the first 2 or 3 months of me being out here, I had lost like 40 pounds.
Wow.
Like it was something crazy. And I was like super thin just because it was like I really couldn't afford to eat. So I was just eating pineapples and sandwiches, which was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's really.
That's why it's harder for me to lose weight now, because I got a little bit more money.
Yeah.
So yes, so I eat a lot. I eat a lot better now.
For sure. You've been playing in the league for like almost 15 to 20 years already.
Yeah, 50. Yeah.
So how about
it's kind of hard, man. Damn.
Yeah. You mentioned that it was tough for you at first. So how was it for you? Because sometimes it's really hard to have a good support system here in the Philippines. But what kept you going? Was it the friendship with the other players like Dorian and Kelly Williams and Rob Reyes, or was there another factor that kept you motivated in continuing your journey here in the Philippines?
Yeah, it was them. They made the Philippines at that time a lot better for me. But it was really hard to quit on a dream, even though it was really hard. It was all those times I was wanting to quit and all that. It was it would be really hard for me to quit on my dreams. Huh? I'm on a Zoom right now. Well, what? Yeah, so sorry.
No worries. Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't just gonna quit on my dreams just like that. You know what I mean? So
moving on to your PBL journey, you said it was really fun. What was the best experience like? Because I think you won MVP when you played there.
Yeah, I won MVP. Making it to the finals was a great experience. Honestly, even the struggle was a good experience. We went to the finals. We also getting really close to Kelly and Robbie, like that made a lasting impression.
Yeah.
On my life. We're still close friends. I still talk to Robbie. He's in the States.
Yeah.
What else? Just meeting. I've gotten close to the owners of Toyota, which was the PBL team.
Yeah.
At the time, I got really close with them. We still talk often with I talk with the whole family. Coach Louis, Coach Louis, I love Coach Louis. We have a good relationship as well. So, I mean, that whole year was just even though the struggle was real, I don't take that time for granted. So
yeah. So
it was good.
Yeah, yes. In the following year, you went to the PBA draft already, and you were drafted by Wellcoat first overall. So was that an automatic already that right after a year you'd go to the PBA draft and put your name there, and it was almost a guarantee that you'd be number one?
No, to be honest, I didn't know I was going to be number one pick or not. Because at the time there was a big. His name was Sam Iman.
Oh yeah, I remember.
His name was Sam Iman. And hello. his name was Sam Iman, and he had a big name back then. And you know, we had good battles. He was a very promising big man. He was basically like the Jumar Fajardo before Jumar.
Yeah. San
right?
Miguel got him, I think.
Yeah, and San Miguel got him at number 2, I think.
Yeah.
So, to be honest, things happen for a reason, and you know, of course, I was hoping to go to San Miguel already my first year. That would have been great, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, it is what it is. Everything plays out how it does, and I'm thankful for Wellcoat to have drafted me as number 1 because, you know, it says something about you if you get drafted number 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, my career's played out in my eyes. It played out just, I mean, perfectly. Everything just kind of fell into place like how it should. And you know, it would have been nice to have won a MVP and all that. Like back in my younger days, I was competing for MVPs and stuff like that. But
I read about it.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. Right now I'm as what is it? Current. I'm tied for first for most championships. It's me and Rafi.
Yeah.
So I mean, my career has played out, you know, just great for myself. So
yeah. As you mentioned in Wellcoat, it was tough because you weren't like one of the best teams in the league, even if you were one of the top dogs on the team and you were racking up great stats every conference. So what was the toughest experience for you, and how did you overcome it, even if you were at a young age at that time?
Well, to be honest, going into when I got drafted for Wellcoat, there was a preseason, like we had like a little preseason games, like tournament or whatever before the first conference even started. Mm-hmm. And I was scoring like 40 points a game in those tournament things, right? In those games. So once I started doing that, then there was a lot of hype, you know, with my name and all that good stuff. But the thing I struggled with my rookie year was at the time, it was almost like me and J.R. Reyes was in competition with the management, because at that time we both played a 5. Yeah. And I think the management really wanted J.R. Reyes to be the face of the team. Okay. So, you know, there'll be games where I hardly play. And I'm really young, you know. My name is kind of hyped up and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of struggled with that. With not getting the playing time and all that kind of stuff my first year. But again, my second year, as soon as I get traded to Alaska, my career just blossomed after that. So worked out good.
Do you think it was inevitable for you to be traded to Alaska, since it was kind of tough to play you and J.R. Reyes at the same time? Because I think you were only in Wellcoat for a year.
I was at Wellcoat for a year. I mean, to be honest, I can't really remember what my mindset was back then.
You lost the audio. You lost the audio. Hello? There's no audio. Hello? Hello? No audio.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, shoot, I'm sorry. But I was excited when I found out that I got traded to Alaska. Just because, again, I didn't feel like I fit at that time at Rain or Shine, Wellcoat. And, you know, like I said, my career really blossomed. Like my first conference with Alaska. You know, we make the finals. My very first conference, we make the finals. You know, so I mean, being at Alaska was a great experience there. The management there is very professional. They taught me to take a business approach to basketball, because back then it was just I want to play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So but yeah, it was my Alaska days was great too, just because I mean we made so many finals appearances. I think we only won one championship though.
Yeah.
But we made a lot of finals appearances. And I mean, like I said, I was at that point in time, I was leading the league in minutes, or I was like top 3 or something like that. So it was fun.
Why do you think you excelled in Alaska? Like, was it more of a change in role, or was it your teammates? Was it Coach Tim? Because I believe, yeah, that's when I thought I saw you playing well in the Alaska in 2008 or 2009.
Yeah.
20, that year.
Yeah. To be honest, I give all the blame. I give all the credit to Coach Tim. Because like I said, at Wellcoat, they just wanted me to be a 5. You know, like I was the center. That's it. And that's why me and J.R. Reyes kind of clashed, you know.
Yeah, it's tough,
but as soon as I went to Alaska, I mean, I was the point guard. I think I started off as the forward at Alaska, because Sonny Thoss was there. You know, so I started off as the forward, and then from the forward, I learned to play the guard already. So right away, he's teaching me and giving me all these different responsibilities and stuff like that, which really helped me, you know, because again, like at Wellcoat, I was just a 5, and that was it. But at Alaska, I was bringing up the ball, setting people up already. You know, like I learned Coach Tim's system really fast because he did that with me, you know? So, but again, people see how me and Coach Tim are now, and, you know, it's like father, son, and love, hate, and, you know, but I mean, they don't remember, they never saw our relationship when I was younger, how he would just cuss me out all the time, and you know, spitting all in my face and meet me at half court and embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like they don't remember none of that. So they don't remember none of that. You know what I mean? So I mean, it took a long time for me to coach Tim to get to where we're at now, and for him to trust me like how he does. And to be honest, even me trusting him. I mean, because there's a lot of times where I'm like, man, what is he doing? What is Coach Tim doing? You know, and I would be frustrated and all that kind of stuff. But then after a while, I was like, hey, he knows what he's doing. You know, like he has the bigger picture in mind. You know, and that's what's great about Coach Tim. He always has the bigger picture. So it's not about winning. It's not about winning a game or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's about building his players up to win championships. He'll always say, you know, any team could win one championship, but great teams win championships.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So that's the path that we're on.
Yeah.
So
maybe I could compare it to like Greg Popovich. Like he cusses out his players also, whether it's Tim Duncan or Tony Parker or the last guy on the bench. And their relationship also developed, and they won 5 championships in, I don't know, 12 years. And it's really tough in the NBA with more teams also to win it. So maybe it really helped, like how Coach Tim helped you also individually.
For sure. That's how it is. That's exactly how it is.
So for the Alaska stint, you mentioned that you won 1 championship, and that was the finals with Diamond Simpson versus Gabe Freeman, I think 2009.
Yeah, with San Miguel.
Yeah.
I think 2010.
Oh, 2010. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how was that whole experience with that series most especially? Because it was, as you mentioned, it's your one championship in Alaska.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, we lost so many times in the finals before that. I think maybe 2 or 3 times before that. With that one, it was almost like I was all right, like I'm experienced enough, like like I was real comfortable
Yeah.
at that time. And that was a really good that was a good series, but I think we beat them in 6, I think.
Yeah, 6, yeah.
If I could.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but Gabe Freeman was playing at a crazy high level. I think Jay Wash was on that team when he was in his prime.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys, like San Miguel is in my eyes the best franchise, right? Yeah, they're like, and all those guys, they're all going to be considered legends in the game and all that kind of stuff. And Siegel, I think, was there. I think, but to be honest, I feel like even in the Pure Foods championship when they beat us, I think we were favored to win that because we were just playing at such a high level. That our Alaska team, like we won one championship, but I really feel like teams feared us.
Yeah.
Just because we were so disciplined. We ran the triangle we were so nice at the triangle. Defense was really, we've always been top in defense, for the most part. And that Alaska team, like we ran the triangle so well.
So you mentioned that you guys ran the triangle really well. And from a personal standpoint, one of my coaches in Southridge before, we tried running it and it was really messy. Maybe because we didn't have a lot of practice with it. So on games would be like all over the place. So personally for you, how did you master it? Like, I believe you're the one who teaches also the new guys that come into the team, and they're able to learn from you.
Coach Tim will let me coach. He'll let me when I was on the national team. I'm stopping practice, correcting these are the best players in the country, right?
Yeah.
And and Coach Tim let me stop and correct them and stuff. So I think what helped me learn the triangle so fast was he put me at different positions.
Oh, yeah.
He put me at different positions at an early age. That's what helped me learn it so fast. But I mean, it's so intricate, and there's a counter to almost everything. But the thing is, it's like you all have to dance to the same beat. So if one person is off, it messes up a lot of the movement, because it's all about spacing. And to be honest, we kind of got away from the triangle. We set up in triangle formation sometimes, but we're not really running the triangle. But if I was the coach, if I was a coach, or if I were the coach now, I would run a up tempo triangle. Like that's what I would do.
Yeah. The speed of the players now.
Yeah. And players are more versatile now than they were back then. And you know what I mean? There's not really a true center right now, probably except for Jumar, Greg.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other true centers in this league.
Not much. Yeah.
Right. So the game has evolved to where it just needs to be more up tempo. So that's what I would do. I would bring back the triangle, just run it a lot faster.
Yeah. So moving on from your great Alaska days, you went to the BMAG franchise, and I read that you were supposed to go to Air 21, or you did, but then you still eventually went to BMAG. So what was the story there on the trade of going to Air 21 but you still ended up in BMAG?
Yeah. I think I was at Air. They traded me to Air 21 for a few days or a week or something like that. I'm not, to be honest, I don't know the details in that. But I was with Air 21. And even I remember the coach. I can't even remember the coach who was the coach back then. But I remember him telling the team, like, guys, don't listen to the rumors if Joe's gonna get traded or not. Like, he's here, so let's practice like he's gonna be here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think I get traded like the next day he said that. But yeah, I was with that Air 21 team not too long. And I ended up going to Pure Foods. Well, at the time it was BMAG, right?
Yeah, BMAG.
Yeah, with Coach George. That was a crazy experience too, playing with Coach George. He's a different type of coach.
What makes him different? What does he do?
He likes to cuss out people for no reason. He's a big jokester.
Oh.
So sometimes he won't even be mad or anything like that, but he'll just cuss you out for no reason.
Yeah.
I was with him for one conference, and then Coach Tim came over. Yeah. So that was pretty cool. Because I wasn't expecting, in no way was I expecting Coach Tim to leave Alaska and and go to where I'm at.
Yeah.
I like to say that I was the one that got him over there, but I had nothing to do.
Yeah. Nobody expected him to leave Alaska. He was been there for like 20 years already.
I think like 22 years or something. Yeah, something crazy like that. So, I know that was a big change for him too, and I think some relationships was kind of hurt from him leaving Alaska. But I mean, me personally, I'm thankful that he did leave.
How many championships did you win? A lot with BMAG.
All 11. I got all 11 with Coach Tim.
Oh, okay. How about with Pure Foods though? Like 8?
Pure
7?
Foods, I think we won 6.
Oh, 6.
And 11. Something like that. Either 5 or 6. I can't even remember. I lost count.
About PJ, James, and Mark, they're the 3 stars in Pure Foods, and then you went there and Coach Tim implemented the triangle once again. And they've said in interviews that it was tough for them to buy in right away with the triangle because less touches, less usage rate. You need to buy into a more team concept. And James was like a 2-time MVP. And Mark would say that parang it's really hard to study the details of the whole system. So for you, did you help in making them buy in?
I mean, I don't know if I'm assuming I did help. But we were pretty close back then. And I mean, I do remember those days where Ping didn't really want to learn. He didn't really want, Ping wanted to do things his way because he's Ping.
Yeah.
He's had a successful career. He had a big name. Those 3, they got, that's why they call him the big 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So James was a scorer. Even PJ was a scorer.
Yeah.
But Coach Tim has a way of still utilizing their talents, but making them buy into the system. So it was only a matter of time until they bought into the system. And I mean, to be honest, they bought in pretty fast. That's why we were able to win a championship. I can't remember how fast when we switched over. I think our first conference when Coach Tim came over, we made it to the finals, but we lost. And then
with Blakely, think the next conference, you won. Marcus Blakely, you guys won, I think.
Yeah. The following conference we won. So, I mean, those 3 guys they would be considered one of the best to play in this league too. And it was it's an honor to have played with them, to be their teammates, to be on a team that's even considered to be one of the best teams in PBA history,
Yeah.
Me and Ping still talk today. We just talked the other day, and you know, me and him have a special relationship. Me and PJ. I mean, I took great pride in helping PJ and James get open shots. Like I took great pride in that. Like they would know if you were to ask PJ right now what his favorite play was in our triangle back then.
Yeah.
I guarantee you he'll say the pin down.
Oh.
It's the pin down.
Yeah.
The pin down or the drag screen. It's one of those two for sure. Because I was always getting him open doing that.
Yeah.
You know, and he knew the weight. You know what I mean? Like we were so familiar with each other, and we really wanted the best for each other that that's why we went to another level. That's why we was able to win 4 straight. I mean, just looking back on that time it's just unbelievable. We were dead tired, just exhausted. In that four conference,
4 straight.
Oh my gosh, we were so exhausted. And you know, Coach Tim has a tendency to play like his first 5
a lot,
for a long time. You know what I mean? And he was doing that. But he had a pretty good balance because our second team was good too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and but I mean, we were all just exhausted, but it's crazy how we were able to just pull through like that every time. We always started slow. But Coach Tim will always say, like, as long as we're playing great basketball by playoffs, you know, we're gonna be good. And it just always worked out like that. There would be conferences where we're like 1-4.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, 2-5, and then we come back and win a championship.
Yeah. You guys are like what, 4th seed, 5th seed, and then you win.
And then we win the championship. I think that in those four championships, we had either 9 or 11 knockout games. Like something crazy. You know what I mean? So we had all those knockout games, and we pulled everyone. You know, like we were able to pull away from everybody doing that. It's just crazy. It was crazy to think about that.
Yeah. So you mentioned a lot of things like the superstars buying in, and then a lot of knockout games where you guys were still composed, and it was consistent winning for 4 straight conferences. And it's really obvious also from a fan standpoint on how close the team was together. Like there were some scuffles along the way, like the Kelly Nabong and Mark Pingers one, and you were involved also. And
they said I started that one.
Yeah, the Pamboy Raymundo one when you put the ball in his face. Yeah, there were like scuffles that showed that how close you guys were. So what can you say about those instances where the bond was really obvious from a fan standpoint? How did you develop it and stuff?
That was true too, because the Kelly Nabong thing, the Kelly Nabong instance, before that game, I think we were struggling. And at that time, we didn't win we won the championship when we were BMAG, right? But none with Sandman Coffee, right? So we were struggling at that time. And I honestly feel like that big fight is what helped us like really get close. Because after that's when we just started like our win streak, and that was the first conference we won the championship. The first one out of the 4.
Yeah, Governor's Cup with Marcus.
That was the first one out of the 4. But I don't know how many games we played before that Northport game, but we were struggling before that. I remember. And we got, after that fight, we all pulled together. So I'll take credit for that.
Your team chemistry was really evident. That's what separated you guys from the rest.
Yeah, man, that's just a great feeling. Oh my gosh, I miss those days.
Yeah. So for you as a player, you said that you were the best role player on the team with the Stars, and you were accepting your role on whatever Coach Tim would give you. So there were quotes in previous interviews that you were the X factor in crucial games on the finals, or you were the most underrated player in the league at certain parts of your career. So what
Yeah.
could you say about those quotes? And do you believe, how do you believe that you were able to buy in with those compliments?
Um, my whole career, I've never gotten too much credit. Coach Tim, and the team gives me my credit, but everybody on the outside, they tend to overlook the stuff that I did, which is, that's fine for me. I just cared about winning in championships. I didn't need the credit. I didn't need the all the
Accolades, awards.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I just cared that we were able to win championships and provide for all of our families. That's all I cared about. And again, I took great pride in sacrificing all of that stuff, I think, because out here they tend to look at points,
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
and I don't know. I don't know what my stats, are, whatever, but I've always been in those games, top 1, 2, 3, earlier in my career, and I just had the all around game. But for me, I just take great pride in being the best teammate I can, the one who will sacrifice everything, and that's even now I still just take great pride in that, like I might not be known as one of the greatest to have played and and all that good stuff, but if my name can go on with my teammates and they know that I was their best teammate, I'm happy with that, and I just need one more championship to beat Rafi, and then I'll be good.
Yeah. Hopefully, because I'm a really diehard Ginebra fan, so hopefully you get the championship sooner.
Oh yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hope.
So, how about the similarity of Lamar Odom? Like, in my opinion, like, aren't you like the Lamar Odom of the championship squads, like in the Lakers in 2009 and 2010? Could you say that you
Yeah,
guys had a similar role in a championship team?
yeah. That's what everybody was saying, comparing me to Lamar Odom. Back in Lamar Odom's prime, that's a great compliment. I've never wanted to be the Kobe type, and like that main scorer. Like that just didn't matter to me. Again, winning was what was important. And just to be one of the, I was labeled like one of the first like point forwards
Yeah.
in the league, which was, that's pretty cool,
Yeah.
because again, I was really our point guard,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. I was leading the team. I was the main point guard on all those championship teams, which was pretty that's awesome, man. It's crazy. That for me too, like I really wanted my kids to understand like what daddy accomplished, how daddy was, and
Mm-hmm.
the sacrifice that that he made, not just for my teammates and for my teammates' family, but but for them, for my
Yeah.
own family.
Yeah.
Playing through all the injuries, getting shots just to play, all that stuff mattered to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it at the end of the day, that's what I would want my career to be known for, just being a great teammate and the sacrifice that I was willing to do for the team.
Yeah. So moving on to your Ginebra stint, it's like the favorite of the fans, of course, since yeah, Ginebra's the crowd favorite. What could you say on the accusations or like the claims of people that you followed Coach Tim to Ginebra?
I would say, yeah, it's true. Shoot, I followed him,
Yeah.
and especially at that point in time in my career, it was kind of like I didn't want to learn a new system. I didn't really want to learn a new coach, and because he left to Pure Foods before I did, right? So I was still on Pure Foods, and I remember Coach Jason Webb. I was actually just talking to somebody about this, I think yesterday or today.
Mm-hmm.
And Coach Jason was saying how the importance of my role will be on his team. And this is him. He's never coached. He was at that time, he was our like third assistant coach,
Mm-hmm.
and not to be disrespectful to him or anything, because he was he worked hard and all that kind of stuff, but I just didn't want to be under anybody else but Coach Tim, so I mean, I'm thankful that that they made the trade to get me over here to Ginebra. It's pretty crazy.
Did you
I mean,
need
I
to
never would have thought.
Did you need to demand the trade, or they already kind of saw it coming?
Well, to be honest, I told them how I felt. Like I didn't want to play for any other coach.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really hard for a player to demand for a trade.
Yeah.
But I just told them how I felt. I was honest. I think that's one of the reasons why too. The management likes me so much, just because I'm upfront, honest. They know I've made a huge sacrifice for the teams that I've been on. And plus I'm funny.
For sure.
Yeah. And I'm a chemistry guy too.
Yeah.
So I just told him how I felt, and luckily I was able to get traded. It worked out.
Yeah. How about moving on to Ginebra? Like, I'm pretty sure you know that the last championship before Justin Brownlee came there was around 2008. It was a really long time until Coach Tim and your group came in there and won the championships with Justin in the Governor's Cup first, and then Commissioner's Cup, and then most recently the All Filipino Conference. What was the most important, or what are the important aspects on why you believe the team overcame the hump finally with Justin and beating Meralco in the finals?
I'll tell you right now, it was the culture.
Oh.
It was the culture. That's it. Coach Tim came in here, changed the culture around, and literally just like that, we were able to win. I mean, that's just what Coach Tim does. He's able to have his team buy into his vision. And as soon as you have the team buy in, I mean, it's easy, like it's easy to be at the top if everybody buys in. Now that still doesn't guarantee a championship, but I mean, it's the path to a championship is a lot easier rather than having a team that doesn't believe, that don't want to be there. You know what I mean? That's just playing basketball just to play basketball. Like he had us believe in each other. He had us all wanting the best for each other. He had us all wanting the best for the ball boys, for everybody's families. You know what I mean? And that's the culture that he set. Like we can't just miss practice just because we're sick, or just because we're injured, we can't miss practice. You know what I mean? Like, no, nope.
No
You're there
excuses.
at practice. Like you would have to be in the hospital to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, there's no secret. It's the culture that he sets, is why he's so successful.
So how about Justin Brownlee? Like, people have their own personal explanations. Like when he came here, he replaced Paul Harris, and they were kind of disappointed because Paul was really great in the first game he played with you guys before breaking his hand. And Justin Brownlee was cramping up, I believe, in like the early practices, and people were kind of like, why did we get this guy?
Right.
We wanted Paul Harris na lang compared to him. So how about you? What were your thoughts about
I'm
it?
on the Zoom interview. My thoughts on Justin was, I mean, I remember even at practice, he was cramping up and we were like, oh, shoot, man, this dude's out of shape. Like, we didn't know what to think, man. He can't run up and down one time without catching the cramp, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember he was always just saying like, man, I always do this. I always do this, you know, just catch cramps. And honestly, it took him like, I think the second time he came around for us to figure out what to do. Like we always had to get him IVs. Like the day before a game, he had to get an IV. So that's his routine. He's in Dubai now. I don't know if he's doing that in Dubai, but he was constantly doing that. I mean, that was his routine. He was always getting IVs. The day before the game, the day of the game.
Yeah.
Always getting IVs, you know. So but at first, when Justin first came to the team, we saw his talent, no doubt. You know, it was just we didn't think he was in shape because he was always catching cramps. He was always catching cramps, you know. But I mean, but that issue we was able to deal with that throughout the time because he was still catching cramps. It was just he handled it a little bit better, or he would catch cramp later in the game or something like that, you know. So
yeah, that was my initial impressions as well. Like, and I think in the first few games when he got cramps, you guys were like, oh no, I think we already expected this, and you were kind of like, hopefully it doesn't happen, because I think he was kind of struggling also in his first game. So I don't know what his shooting percentage was, but it wasn't that great in his
I
first
think
game.
his first game he didn't really even play that well. I don't even think he finished the game. We're not sure, but I think we ended up winning.
Yeah, you won, I think. But then he cramped up. Then I was like, oh, who's
but he
this
cramped
import?
up.
Yeah. Same thoughts as you guys.
Yeah. So that was Justin is special though. He's a special, not just a basketball player though. He's a good person, you know, to be honest.
Sure,
he's a really good person. He'll, you know, there's a lot of imports that come out here that just they just befriend the Finlams, and you know, of course, naturally, because that's what they're comfortable with, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But Justin, I mean, he chilled with everybody on the team. He'll go to their house. He'll go to the locals' house to drink, to play games, and he literally like kicked it with everybody on the team.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why everybody loved Justin. You know, all the teammates, all of his teammates just love Justin, you know.
Yeah.
So
from a personal viewpoint, I know you had a beef with Jared Dillinger before when he was with Meralco, like Twitter exchanges. And it was really funny from a fan's point because we don't know if you were serious or if it was just for comedy, because you guys are two really funny guys as well.
Yeah.
How was the beef? How did the beef start? And I'm pretty sure you guys squashed it already because you're teammates now. What was the whole story?
To be honest, there was feelings involved, but we did talk to each other when like our first series.
Yeah.
We did talk to each other and we, you know, we said like, all right, let's really go at each other to hype up the series, you know, and we might have even did it too much because our coaches got mad at us.
Oh,
Coach
really?
Norman got mad at him and Coach Tim got mad at me.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They said something in the press conference because we're going at each other. And you know, Coach Tim was like, you know, you don't need to do that, Joe. It's gonna be hyped up enough, you know. But one of those conferences, when we played in Philippine Arena,
I remember.
Yeah, I feel like me and JD had a lot to do with filling up that arena.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but there was, of course, because we're both competitive, but it wasn't what it appeared to be on Twitter, though.
Yeah, people exaggerated it.
Yeah. People really believed in that, but again, it was real, just not as like we weren't really gonna like fight each other or any. I don't even remember the stuff we were saying, but as far as winning the championship and going at each other, you know, like that part was really real.
Yeah. So how about it's not really, it's like cliche to talk about like the championships because everyone likes talking about like the journey and all these championships. But for you specifically, I noticed like in the elimination round, sometimes you're injured, in your with your knees or anything with your lower body. And sometimes Coach Tim doesn't really play you a lot in the elimination round or limited
Right.
minutes. But then in the playoffs, you there's a game where you make Ginebra win, and people are like shocked because they're like, this guy didn't play for like 10 games already,
The
and
whole conference,
yeah,
yeah, and then
he
yeah.
suddenly he suddenly explodes in the semis or in the finals. So how do you do that, like personally? Because it's for like shooters, it's hard. For any athlete, it's hard to like suddenly play and then yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It is hard when I do that. Now, I wish I wasn't injured during the conference or hurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just kind of worked out to where I'm just injured in the conference. But when that happens, they always tell me like, just don't rush it, just be ready for playoffs. So
Mhm.
even like this past time in the bubble, like I
Yeah.
wasn't in the best of shape.
Yeah.
But I was constantly working out. Even the games there were games where I don't play, right? But
Yeah,
if
for
you
sure.
if you look back, at the tape, you'll see me in the tunnel working out.
Mm-hmm.
So I was constantly, just in case coach did call me for that game.
Yeah.
Like I always make sure that that I stayed ready. And like that was my mentality. Like if he was gonna put me in, I need to show him and the guys that I'm still gonna be ready, you know. And that was just my mindset. I just really wish I wasn't always injured. Like I think the past like maybe even 3-4 years, I've just been injured
Yeah.
a
Since
lot,
2017, 18, I think.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
see?
I saw
So
in the
it's like,
articles. Yeah.
yeah, so
Mhm.
it's like, dang, I
Yeah.
wish I didn't have to, have to play through all this pain, but it is what it is. I don't know how much longer I'm going to play for, but I really want to try to get in good shape to see where I'm at body wise, because
Yeah.
if my knees can hold up, I'll be okay. But I still take pain pills even now, just to work
Mhm.
out, just to run and do squats and work on my legs. I have to take pain pills just to do that. But I really need to see if I lose this weight, how I would feel.
So where do you get like the fortitude to keep going? Like, for example, like you don't need to prove like anything with your legacy since you said you're number one already in championships in PBA history. So where do you get like the fortitude to keep going and keep persevering to still play even already at an old age?
You know what? That's a great question because Art Delacruz, he asked me that like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He was like, Joe, how do you keep going, like after you've won so many and all this, you have money and all this, and but yet you still have pain, but you still go,
Yeah.
and to be honest, I don't know. Like
Yeah.
because at this point I make more money outside of basketball than I do on playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's those days where it's like, oh man, it's really hard.
Yeah.
It is really hard for me to just fight through that pain every day. But it's the love for the game. It's the love for. I still feel like I play a huge part, even though I'm not playing a lot. I play a huge part in being in my teammates' life, just being around, help, mentoring, tutoring, showing them the right way to play, having them understand, helping Coach Tim, having them understand the culture and stuff like that. Like at this point in my career, that's what's the most important. And when I do play, make an impact in the game, of course. But it would really be nice if I could get to a point to where I'm playing like a consistent, maybe like 20 minutes a game, and good solid minutes, like that to end my career, not just not playing at all. You know what I mean? That would be ideal. Now, honestly, I feel like that's totally up to me. If I can get my body right and in shape, I think Coach Tim would do that. But again, it's just if I can get my body right.
Do you have like a plan on how long's your target to still play, like 3 to 5 years or something? And what are your plans after? Like, are you gonna coach?
I can't. I definitely won't be able to last 3 to 5 years. I'm just kind of taking it day by day. Like, I just signed a 1-year deal. So I've been signing 1-year deals for like my last 4 contracts or something like that, which is, I'm cool with that. Like I don't feel any pressure on my shoulders or anything like that. Like I just I show up every day, you know what I mean? And everything else will fall into place. But I don't really have a time frame on when I'm gonna retire and call it quits. The whole coaching thing, I mean, it would be cool to coach. I don't know if I'll have the patience to be a head coach.
Assistant.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I don't know, but it would be cool to make a difference in people's lives if I were to coach and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure. It was a good experience to coach for the national team, though.
Yeah. How long was that? Like, you only coached 1 game, I think, or how long was that? SEA Games?
Yeah, it was the SEA Games, and I believe we played like 5 games, maybe something like that. Yeah, so it wasn't too too hard or too long or anything like that. It was actually pretty fast, but the experience was pretty cool to coach, the best players that we have in the Philippines. So and they were all cool with me, correcting them and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the respect that I have. So it's pretty cool. It was good experience.
How about when you retire? Don't you want to be like a commentator or a YouTube sensation, since you have a YouTube channel now?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a YouTube sensation. I'm trying to be like I might need to be like what's his name? Paul. What's his name?
Who?
Paul.
Jake Paul.
Logan Jake Paul.
Yeah,
I need
Paul
to try
Logan
to just
Paul.
block somebody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to block somebody and see if I get my followers up.
Yeah. How did that start? Like, YouTube channel? Did anyone tell you to do it? Like, you have it.
You know
Scotty
what?
has, and some other Ginebra players.
It's crazy because for my first year being out here, they were always telling me I need to be on TV. Like, oh man, hey, they were always saying that, like, man, you need a TV show. I think so.
Yeah.
They're always telling me, oh, you need you need a TV show. You need a TV show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, shut up. Yeah, right. Not thinking anything of it. And each team that I went to, like, so with my Wellcoat team, it was me and Rob Wainwright.
Mm-hmm.
If you saw me and him together, like it was just nonstop laughing.
Yeah.
And back then everybody was like, oh man, you guys need your own show, stuff like that. Hey, hello, how are you, man? Thank you. And no, just staying right here. Yeah. So it was me and him at first. Then at Alaska, it was me and Tony Delacruz.
Yeah.
Everybody was always saying we needed our own show, but really, it's me. You know what I mean? Like, I was the man. Yeah,
that's the
I
common
need my
thing.
own show. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like and people were always telling me that since I got out here, and it wasn't until I actually started my channel because of motorcycles. Like, I was gonna be like a moto vlog person, and just be funny on a motorcycle.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started it, and I got I got like a couple thousand subscribers on YouTube kind of fast because of the motorcycles.
Mhm.
And then the bubble happened. So when the bubble happened, of course, I can't be on my motorcycle anymore, right? So then it switched from moto vlogs to like
Bubble.
what's going on
Yeah.
inside of the bubble. And
Yeah.
from there, that's when it really took off, though.
Oh,
Everybody
okay.
wanted to see what was going on in the
Yeah.
bubble. You know, I was filming everything.
Yeah.
So that's what was pretty cool, though, that the guys were pretty cool with that, with me filming. You know, like, so people are used to their routines, and you know, sometimes they don't want a camera all in their face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I tried to be as discreet as I could, and try to pitch
Yeah.
all the moments that I could to provide for the fans and stuff like that. So I mean, it was a good experience. But now that the bubble has ended, you know, it's a little bit harder to sell those same fans to still watch. Yeah, like what's going on in my life and stuff like that. Like that, I feel like that's why I need to learn Tagalog, so that I can connect to more of the people. And you know, that's my fault too for not speaking Tagalog. I've been here long enough. I should be fluent already.
Yeah.
But if I did speak Tagalog, I feel like my channel would be a lot bigger now, you know. But I mean, I'm trying.
There's still time. If you learn like now, like you're in lockdown, there's no season. Maybe by a few months you'll have like hundreds and thousands of subscribers.
That'll be cool. I need to do that.
Yeah. So as we wind down to the latter portion of the interview, I wanted to thank you again, Joe, for coming on the podcast. Here's just a few questions I asked my other guests also. So for like the NBA, there was like a bubble also, and there was a Black Lives Matter movement. Like the athletes were very vocal with social issues and political issues, and they were telling people like teaching them how to vote. With LeBron, he has more than a vote. But here in the Philippines, like not everyone's as vocal or as articulate also in expressing their opinions with social issues or political issues. So what's your opinion on like the athletes having a platform to speak up, and what do you think the athletes should do? Should they be more vocal here, or should they continue what they're doing since they have a voice and they might influence the people like for the elections or something?
At this day and age, it's hard because now it's like everybody could just say whatever they want on the internet or on social media, and it can get out there, you know. I think if the person that has the power to reach a lot of people, they should be responsible with it, you know, and they should speak up for what they believe in. But if it's something that they don't really believe in, they're just saying it just to
get the clout,
you know, just you know, and to get famous and all that stuff. Like that's not really, it's not being responsible. I don't want to talk down on people that do that, but it's just not, you know, it's not responsible because they can make any issue worse or better, you know. But I'm pretty vocal with the stuff that I believe in, but again, I won't speak up on it unless I know more about it. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, people should use their platform to I guess get their what they believe in to get people to understand that. So
yeah, for sure. I had Gabe Norwood also in a previous episode, and a few other guests like Aaron Black, and they had similar sentiments as well with yours. So yeah, like you and Gabe, I mentioned also to him, but you guys were active during the George Floyd thing, so it's good because it raised awareness here in the Philippines. So Philippines, as you guys have a lot of followers and fans.
Yeah.
So one other question, that this is like from All the Smoke. I'm not sure if you watched that podcast.
What is it?
All the Smoke with Matt Barnes.
Oh yeah.
They asked their guests like if you have the chance to have dinner with 5 people, and any 5 people dead or alive, who would you choose?
Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
I would say Jesus.
Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus, Muhammad Ali, Jesus, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee,
Yeah.
Malcolm X,
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King. Is
Yeah.
that 5 or is that
Yeah,
4?
5.
I need to put Will Smith in there, man. Stop. I need to put Will
Okay.
Smith in
Yeah,
there,
that's
though.
fine. That's fine.
But that's 6.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. For the last question, this is also a question I ask all my guests. And if I'd ask you who should I invite on the podcast here on the DVD show, who would you suggest? Or yeah, that could say a great story as well, like yours. Like it doesn't need to be only basketball players. It can be across any sport.
I would probably say, have you interviewed Chris Ross yet?
No, not yet.
I think Chris Ross has a good story.
Yeah.
Saul Mercado has a good story. You know who has a good story too is Josh Urbistondo.
Oh yeah, he used to play here.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love his journey that he had while he was out here because he had a rough time.
Yeah.
And he's a story that a lot of these guys, like a lot of these rookies, need to understand because he was undrafted as well,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
You know,
he was.
and I mean, he was on a championship team. He was a starter on the championship team, won a championship. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he did great things in the PBA too. So I would probably say those: Josh, Saul Mercado, Chris Ross. Those are the 3 that I would say.
Yeah. When I asked Gabe, he mentioned your name.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would have said Gabe too if you didn't interview him yet. Yeah.
I'll try to get Chris because I asked Vaughn because they're teammates. I had Vaughn Pesumal also recently, and he said that he'll ask Chris. I'll just ask him again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'll ask him too.
Oh,
I'll tell
okay.
him. I'll tell him.
I can message you later after we're done. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So as we wind down now here in the podcast, do you have any final message? Because for the fans, I just want to thank you also for coming into the podcast, and I appreciate it. Even if you're doing stuff right now, that you're able to share your story and being able to spend some time here on the DVD show. Do you have any final message?
Just for everybody to be safe out there. COVID is real. I actually just recovered from it.
Oh, really?
I was positive with COVID. It's gonna be on my vlog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but be safe out there. I know it's a tough time right now, so just be as positive as you can be. Spread love and happiness to each other because that definitely helps.
So yeah, lastly, before you go, is it okay if we take a picture?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I'll take it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you so much.
Is that good?
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Joe, for coming again
All
to
right.
the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
All right.
All right, buddy. Take care.
Take care. Stay safe.
All right, man. Bye.
Bye.